This demo will be going over Hotsauce's quick service functions. To start off with, we're going to log in and then select New Order. To start off with, we're going to do the call-in order type. Each of these order types names can be configured, and the information that they require as you go through will be set up to properly gather the information for each order type and walk your employee through the ordering process. When we select call-in, it will prompt us for a telephone number. We do have the ability of integrating with a caller ID box, in which case you would select which line you're picking up and that would automatically populate the number for the guest. Alternatively, we can just fill in their telephone number and then click Finished, and it will take us to a customer information page. All orders will require at least to have a first name entered in with a telephone number. If it's a delivery order, then it will just require some address information as well. At a quick glance, you can get an idea of this customer's business that they've done with you. It will show you the first time they ordered, the last time you heard from them, the total amount they've spent, their average order size, and the total amount of orders they've done. There is additional reports that you can run on your guests to filter or sort out and target specific marketing opportunities. This is just to give you a quick glance of what kind of customer this is. Once you have their information filled out, you can click Finished, and it will take you to the order entry screen. You'll notice that they have an order history down here, and so if they were redoing a past order, you could just click on that item and it automatically populates onto the current order. To actually ring in the orders, we are going to click over in this section of the screen. Each of these buttons right here is what is called a menu link, and will take you to a different section of the menu. You can only display 21 items on this pane whenever you pull up a selection. However, you can have additional pages if it is a rather large category on your menu. We do have additional space in here which we could include more menu links. And if you have a rather large menu which even goes beyond this additional space, we can have submenus that then pull up other options. I'm going to go ahead and place an order and show you some of our modifier options that you have. To start off with, we're going to do an order of wings. This modifier that pops up is what's called a forced modifier, meaning you have to select one of these options in order to continue with the order. In this instance, it's a sauce for the wings. It could be a side item that comes with something, a temperature selection, or a meat choice. Once we select this, it moves on to the next modifier. This is what's called an unforced modifier, meaning you get some instructions that you can add in or ingredients, but if you don't need to use any of them, you can skip past it by using this Done button. This is also an unforced modifier, but in this one I have set up a price on the items, but they get a certain amount for free. In this instance, 10 wings get 2 dressings for free. Anything after that is 50 cents. The amount they get for free and the amount they charge is variable, and we can configure that as we build your menu. So I add 2 dressings and nothing happens. Any dressings I add in after that get charged 50 cents. We do have another way of displaying our modifier pricing, which is called roll-up pricing. And so you'll notice I start this burger off and it's $9. But as I add in cheeses to it, 50 cents will be added to the parent item price. So I add in 1 cheese and it becomes $9.50, another cheese and it becomes $10. And this is just how you want to display your pricing to your guests. You can have some items that will print out the price individually on the receipt while having other modifiers that do roll up into the parent item. Additionally, you have some instructions along the side here that you can use to append to the ingredient that you're choosing. So I can add onions to an item, or I can say no onion, or onion on the side, whatever the case may be. These can also affect the pricing of the item. So if I add bacon to a burger, it costs $1. If bacon comes with the burger but the guest doesn't want it, I can click no and it will actually zero out the item price. Or I can even then charge double because they want extra, and then it will charge $2 instead. One last way of modifying things is with this general modifier category down here. And so maybe you have an item that 90% of your guests order it just the way it comes, and so you don't want your servers having to click through a lot of pop-up modifiers that are unnecessary. However, you still have some of those guests who will need to put in specific instructions, and so then you can modify it down here with some basic ingredients, add in or take out whatever you need to. Once you've added all the items you need, you go ahead and click Send. The order shows up here to be recalled whenever the guest comes in later on for payment, and it automatically prompts you for your next order type. Delivery works very similar to the call-in. However, we will require address information on a delivery order, and it then becomes available to be assigned to a delivery driver if you choose to add our driver routing module. Driver routing is discussed in a separate video. It does include additional costs, and we really only recommend it if you employ more than 3 or 4 delivery drivers at a time on any given shift. We do have the ability of tacking on automatically a to-go charge for call-in orders and a delivery charge for delivery orders. Additionally, you can even type in a guest and then specify a different delivery charge for them if maybe they are further out than you normally take it. You could then say, well, this person has to pay $5 for a delivery instead. Carry out would be for any guests that walk in and place an order. We can either require a name for it or just print out a order ID on the ticket that they then call out. Otherwise, it works much like a call-in order. You just don't gather the guest information since they walked in your door. Lastly, we have the Eat Here option. This is probably where most fast food and counter service restaurants would stay for the majority of their orders. When we click on it, you'll immediately notice that we have payment options here in the lower left corner, and instead of a send button, it says exit. The idea with the Eat Here option is that the customer is placing their order, and you're going to be immediately taking their payment. You don't need to be able to recall it later on. They are either immediately taking their food or else will be picking it up from a ticket, but they are making their payments as they place their orders. So we can ring in some items. We take their payment. It tells us their change, and once we tap on this screen, that order has now printed out in the kitchen. It clears out that order, and we're ready for our next guest. You may have noticed these blue buttons here in the lower right-hand corner. These are what are called hot items. Regardless of where we are in the menu, those items remain the same. They can be a commonly ordered item. Maybe you have a popular house lemonade that everybody orders. Could be items you just want to keep easily available for your servers so that they don't have to go hunting for them. It could be instructions that you may commonly need to actually modify items with. Or it could be some sort of promotional items that maybe you don't regularly carry, but you wanted to keep it in front of your employees so that they remember to sell that to the guests. Eat Here will remain in this menu until you choose to exit, with the idea being that the majority of your guests are going to be placing the order directly with your cashiers, and they only need to exit out whenever they're taking maybe a call-in or a delivery order. That is the basics of our quick service functions. Please feel free to contact us if you have any questions or concerns about the way that this would be used in your restaurant. Thank you.